Hey everyone, this is a screencast of how to use the Kizuna Wordpress backend. I realize it's a little dorky to do a screencast, but oh well, I think it's important because the website can be a little complicated to use, and so I think that a screencast will help to sort of demonstrate not live, but demonstrate on the screen how some of the different functions work, so that anybody will have the ability to update the site whenever we need to. So just to kind of start things off, so this is our website here. It looks like a standard website, and the interesting thing about websites is that they're built and also maintained via a number of different methods. The way that WordPress works is it's called a content management system, or a CMS. And that basically means that you get to go to their special website and you just insert the content into different areas, which I'm going to explain in these two screencasts, and it appears on the site. And the nice thing about this is that you don't really have to know any HTML, you don't have to know a lot of coding. I will take care of all the coding, and so it just allows you to kind of insert the text that you want, insert the pictures that you want, and it'll appear on the site. And so it makes it really easy for anybody, anywhere, as long as you have internet connection, to just go to the WordPress backend. This is what we call the backend. Insert the information you want, and then it'll appear on the front end. So again, the backend is basically like the machinery. It's the stuff that goes on behind the scenes that nobody else sees except for us. And the front end is what the public sees. So this is the front end, and this is the back end. And so what we're going to be doing is we're going to be doing most of our work on the back end. I'm going to be showing you how it then appears on the front end so that you just can update any parts of the site that you want. So what we're going to talk about first, this is sort of section 1, it's logging in and the basics. So this is important because WordPress can be a little bit confusing when you log in, so I'm going to kind of demystify the different sections. So everyone's going to have a username. It'll be the first letter of your first name, probably, and your last name, and everyone's going to have a password. Now, just as FYI, the password that everybody is going to get is going to be a little bit complicated. So for example, this right here is my password. And the reason why it's so complicated is because we don't want any thieves or any bad guys being able to log into our site. And the easier that our passwords are, the more likely that they are to be able to break in and really screw around with our site. So everyone's going to get a pretty complicated password, and in addition to that, you're probably going to be required to change your password every 6 months or so, and that's just part of our security protocol. So anyways, so everyone's going to have a username, everyone's going to have a password, and then you log in. Just give it a second here. Once you log in, you're going to see what's called the dashboard. The dashboard here basically has a summary of kind of everything on the site. And really this other stuff here, it's not really important. In fact, I'm just going to kind of close it all because you're not really going to use the dashboard that much. It's just kind of there to tell you what's happening with the site, but it's not really that important. The toolbar on the left, this thing here, is probably one of the most important parts of the site. You, as an updater of the site, are going to be using most of these different, not all of them, but most of these different sections. So we're going to kind of start with the top here. Dashboard, of course, takes you here to the dashboard where we're already at. Posts takes you to the post section. Now, just as a disclaimer, the post section, this is just so you know, it's only used for very specific functions, 3 functions. The post section will only be used when you want to put articles into the other news section, when you want to put articles into the About section, and when you want to put articles into the front page slider. And this is the front page slider. That's really the only 3 times that you're going to be using the post section. So unlike a blog where you're constantly making posts, posts, this site is a little bit different. Most of the pages on our site, so this whole thing is a page, this program thing, this page is a page. These pages are going to be created from the Pages section. So it's important to know the difference between posts versus pages. Posts are only going to be used, again, for very, very specific functions. The Media section is the area that you're going to be using to upload pictures and documents. And so you can see here that I've already uploaded a number of different photos that we're using on the site, and we've even uploaded a document here, the Kizuna donation form. But this area is really where what you're going to be using when you want to upload that media to the site. The link section, I'm not going to click on it because I actually don't know what it's used for. And this particular site does not use the link section, so you don't really have to worry about it. The pages section, as I explained earlier, is very important because the pages is really all of the main content of the site. Like I said, posts are for very specific functions, and pages are really the main content. And you can kind of see that the pages here mimic home, other news, programs, support, about. It mimics these sections here. Alright, now when a page has a dash, like these ones here, that means that the page falls under the section here. So these 3 pages are part of the support section. These 2 pages here are part of the program section. We're going to cover pages, and not in this screencast, but in the next screencast. The next part of the toolbar on the left here is comments. We're not going to be using comments on this site right now because there just is no use for it right now. So you don't really have to worry about that. We may end up having later versions of the site where we do use comments, but that's not really important right now. The profile page is very important because in addition to telling the world a little bit about yourself, which I'm not really sure is useful at all, this page allows you to change your password. This page allows you to change your email, your username. So this page basically has your basic information that you're using when you're using the site. And the last part of the toolbar here is tools. Again, this is a piece that I'm not really that sure of yet, and so you don't really have to use it. But this is kind of just an overview of the WordPress backend, and so you just have a good idea of what these toolbars are here for. Now, on the top, this is also another toolbar that they've added, and it's pretty self-explanatory. This toolbar also changes depending on what you're doing during the site, but if you kind of just scroll and you kind of just read each of the different sections, it's fairly easy to see what each one is used for. So for example, new, if you want to create a new post, if you want to add new media, if you want to create a new page, you can use this toolbar, or you can click here. If you want to visit the whole site, you can just click right here. If you want to, that one's not that important. But basically, the toolbars are important because they help you navigate around the WordPress site. So this is just a basic introduction to WordPress so that you kind of just get familiar with the system before we really dive into the meat and potatoes of updating the site. Okay.